Presented by Listen Headlines, latest world news from trusted sources.
Washington Post World, January 24, 12:58 America, New York. Australian admits abducting 4-year-old girl from family tent. A man has pleaded guilty to abducting a 4-year-old girl from her family's camping tent on Australia's west coast last year. Washington Post World, January 24, 12:42 America, New York. Mexican journalist murdered in Tijuana, second in a week. A journalist has been killed in the northern Mexico border city of Tijuana. Washington Post World, January 24, 12:01 America, New York. The new kind of vaccine inequality. Vaccine access still remains an issue in many countries. But increasingly, logistical challenges, staffing problems and doses offered too close to their expiry date, a particular problem with donated vaccines from the West, are replacing access as the primary obstacle.
WorldCBSNews.com. January 24, 5:43 America, New York. Biden presented with options to bolster NATO with U.S. troops. The number of troops sent to the eastern flank could increase tenfold if Russia launches a full-scale invasion of Ukraine, according to a Pentagon official.
Washington Post World, January 24, 5:42 America, New York. NATO sends more ships, fighter jets to Eastern Europe as Russia masses troops on Ukraine border. Britain ordered some diplomats and their families to leave Ukraine, amid growing alarm that Russia may invade.
BBC News World, January 24, 5:26 America, New York. Hundreds of children held by IS in besieged prison in Syria. Kurdish-led forces say they are being used as human shields in the jail they have surrounded in Syria.
RT World News, January 24, 5:20 America, New York. Stupid joke, at Nazi death camp Auschwitz lands tourist in trouble. A Dutch woman has been fined for performing a Nazi salute outside the camp's main gate. Regional police said a woman was detained on Sunday after performing a Nazi salute outside the iconic Arbeit macht frei, work makes one free, entrance gate of the former Nazi Auschwitz-Birkenau death camp near the city of Oświęcim in southern Poland.
Mirror World News, January 24, 5:14 America, New York. Breaking Ukraine crisis. Russia vows to respond appropriately, as NATO deploys fighter jets. We'll be bringing you the very latest updates, pictures and video on this breaking news story. Mirror World News, January 24, 5:08 America, New York. Most wanted serial killer on the run for 23 years is spotted on Caribbean island. Serial killer Norman Volker Franz was jailed in May 1995. He managed to saw through bars in his cell 2 years later and has since reportedly been spotted in the Caribbean.
RT World News, January 24, 5:05 America, New York. WHO predicts end of pandemic in Europe. The WHO's Europe chief says Omicron could be COVID-19's endgame. Speaking to AFP on Sunday, Hans Kluge, the World Health Organization's WHO Europe director, claimed that there might be an end to the pandemic in sight, despite record levels of COVID-19 cases across the continent. RT World News, January 24, 5:05 America, New York. Foreign-funded NGOs seek to topple government, president. Serbian leader insists Western governments funded protests that sunk $2.7 billion lithium mine. Serbian President Aleksandar Vučić has brushed aside denials by Western governments that it was they who had funded the environmental protests that forced Belgrade to scrap an ambitious mining project. RT World News, January 24, 5:04 America, New York. UK ministers sacking over Muslimness to be investigated. Former junior transport minister says she was told her faith was making colleagues uncomfortable before being fired. New York Times World News, January 24, 5:00 America, New York. Germany's vaccine mandate forges unlikely coalition of protesters. The prospect of a vaccine mandate has galvanized a nationwide protest movement attracting naturalists, neo-Nazis and ordinary citizens alike. An anti-vaccine protest in Nuremberg, Germany, this month. New York Times World News, January 24, 5:00 America, New York. Can a new line of work help save these wild Welsh ponies? A long-standing source of local pride and affection, Welsh mountain ponies have seen many of their traditional roles vanish. A new initiative aims to ensure their continued survival. Horses are much-loved pets and companions throughout Wales.
Mirror World News, January 24, 4:46 America, New York. Man faces prison for refusing to wear mask on flight while mooning crew and passengers. Shane McInerney, 29, is accused of causing disruption during the entire 8-hour Delta Airlines flight from Dublin to New York on January 7. His final destination was said to be Florida.
Washington Post World, January 24, 4:44 America, New York. Lebanon's government holds budget meeting, first in months. Lebanon's government is holding its first meeting in 3 months to discuss the budget as talks with the International Monetary Fund over the country's economic meltdown were poised to continue. Washington Post World, January 24, 4:41 America, New York. Yemen's militant Houthis fire more missiles at UAE, but they are intercepted. The Houthis have vowed to expand and escalate their attacks on their neighbors. RT World News, January 24, 4:29 America, New York. Goldie the pufferfish, thriving, after dentist visit. An unusual pet suffered from a rare condition that prevented her from eating, but now she's doing great. Washington Post World, January 24, 4:16 America, New York. Burkina Faso's President Kabore is held by mutinous soldiers. 2 mutinous soldiers told the Associated Press that Burkina Faso's President Roch Marc Christian Kabore is being held by the rebellious soldiers. Washington Post World, January 24, 4:11 America, New York. Mutinous soldiers detain President of Burkina Faso in apparent coup d'état. This is the 3rd head of state detained in West Africa since last May.
Fox World News, January 24, 4:10 America, New York. UK to withdraw some staff from embassy in Ukraine due to threat from Russia. The British Embassy in Ukraine announced Monday that it will withdraw some staffers from Kiev in response to the growing threat from Russia, just a day after U.S.
Washington Post World, January 24, 4:03 America, New York. Severe weather brings snow to Athens, Greek islands. A severe weather front has hit Greece, with below-freezing temperatures and snowfall in many parts of the country, including the capital Athens and many Aegean islands.